Hey, life groups. I was supposed to record a promo with Pastor Vin, but unfortunately we couldn't schedule a time to get together to make it happen. So I'm doing the next best thing. I'm sneaking into his office when he's not here and recording a promo. I think one of the most controversial issues that we're dealing with now in Canadian culture is issues of sex and gender. I'm sure almost all of us know friends, family, coworkers, classmates, neighbors, people in our circles who may be struggling with these issues. Maybe they're embracing what the world is saying, or somewhere in between. And I pretty much guarantee as a fact that there's a lot of our brothers and sisters we dearly love that are part of our Willingdon church family who are also struggling as well. On one hand, a lot of us are struggling with messages of what we need to be a man or a woman. A lot of young guys are being told they need to be alpha male, or now it's sigma. I have no idea what that means. A lot of women see in the media standards that they're supposed to adhere to, but ultimately are impossible because of cosmetic surgery and a lot of digital alterations. And then on the other extreme, we're being told that it doesn't matter whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter what your biology is, that you can be whatever it is that you feel that you are. And so there's a lot of different extremes, a lot of different messages in our society. And unfortunately too, a lot of Christians have had a history of not approaching the subject well. And I'm really glad that Dr. Christopher Yuan is coming to visit Willingdon Church on February 17th and February 18th. If you guys are not familiar, Dr. Christopher Yuan has an amazing story of growing up struggling with his own sexual identity as well. Long story short, he gets involved with a lot of same-sex relationships and homosexuality. He eventually does a lot of drug dealing and just goes down a path of self-destruction. But then God saves him by getting him thrown in prison. And in this prison, God saves him. He's written 2 books, Out of a Far Country, and also he wrote Holy Sexuality and the Gospel. It's a great read, how he talks about not just sex from an act in and of itself, but about how should people respond and follow God, whether they're married, or they're struggling with same-sex attraction, or they're single, or they feel to be called celibate, and everything in between. It's a fantastic read. You guys should take a look. But back to the announcement. There's going to be 4 sessions available. The first session is going to be Saturday morning, February 17th, from 9 a.m. to 12:30. Questions on sexual identity. Is sexual identity the core to who we are? And is being gay genetic? There's going to be a Saturday evening session from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. called What's the Big Deal? Instead of a lecture, this is going to be more of a conversation. It's going to be geared towards students, young adults, but everybody's invited. On Sunday morning, Christopher Yuan and his mom will be sharing. Everybody that attends our services will be able to hear their story. In the afternoon, on 1:30 to 2:30 p.m., they're going to be introducing the Holy Sexuality Project. For all the parents who are trying to find out how they can teach their children or teenagers how to view sexuality and gender, this is a great resource that they can use. And then lastly, on Sunday evening from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., there's going to be a session called Sex, Gender, and the Image of God. He's going to be talking about how we wrap our minds around sex as male or female, gender identity, and transgenderism. And we know that is a big struggle right now, especially now that Canada is really pushing forward what they call gender-affirming care to be able to change people's biology to match their perceived or felt gender. How do we address that as Christians? And especially, how do we love and care for those who have been through those procedures? Also, he'll be addressing, is gender a social construct? And do our bodies even matter? Great news also is that all of these sessions are completely free, but you'll have to register. We hope that these sessions will be helpful for us to be able to love and care for our friends, our neighbors, our family members, and the world around us. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people at Willingdon too, our own brothers and sisters that we deeply love. And then I hope that this program will also be helpful to help you understand the issues that you are struggling with, and how God can still love you, and how He can love you as well. May God use these sessions to help us to love our neighbor more, even those who are struggling with sex and gender identities. And may we grow in our ability to learn to love Jesus Christ and to place our identity in Him.